nation.
Okay. Now, let me come to you, Rev. Adding to what Doc has said, if you can go further into it, if you can give us an insight of these standards and poor ratings, what aspects of economy do they look at to get to these ratings?
Thank you very much. I think, generally speaking, this rating has been a good news to Ghana, not only on paper, but then there is some policies that have been taken by the government. I call it taken into consideration. You realize that some economic indicators, especially interest rates, inflationary rates, and exchange rates, the few indicators that they really worked on. They also look at your sanitation, your security and peace, and issues about your international relations. So generally they look at all these, put them into one basket and see how best you are doing. Okay. And as Doc said, this gives us some level of investor confidence. Okay. Now you realize that taking the interest rate is coming down. Yeah. And for some period now, you realize that Bank of Ghana continue to reduce the policy rates. And I think that is a good news. It's a good signal for us for economic growth. We also realize that we're able to achieve somehow a single-digit inflation, and that is a welcoming news. And even though the CD is depreciating against the dollar, you realize that that trend can be traced to an international commercial issue, because other trading currencies in the foreign currency are equally depreciating against the dollar. Talking about the euro, the pound sterling, we talk about the CFA, even Naira. Nigeria having a population close to 200 million, their currency is still depreciating against the dollar. So there's an international phenomenon, because almost every country is trading in dollars. But then we think that there are more we can do to be able to arrest the situation and not necessarily injecting more dollars into the system. Okay. But going forward, managing these indicators as in the open market operations has really helped Ghana. And I think that recently we've seen VW and others, companies from Germany and US, UK, all trooping in. Recently, some investors also from India and were also in Ghana, expressing their interest in the establishing manufacturing industries. So the president also championing the issue about moving away from aid to trade. I think that has also projected Ghana very well, and is really such messages marketing Ghana very well. And looking at the number of investors trooping onto our shores every blessed day, I think we deserve even more than the B.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me bring you on this one. Still on this, looking at what indicators are we looking at to for these rates? And then if it, adding on to what Reverend has said in terms of our currency sovereignty as well. I mean, we're injecting dollars and all that. What do you add to that?
Thank you very much. If you look at the B, some have argued that the economy practically is not felt. But how come we have the B rating? Yeah. So in addition to what he has said, actually, when the credit rating agencies come in, they have some key economic indicators that they look out for. They do the comparative analysis to tell if we are leaping forward, stagnating, or receding in terms of development. Now, if you look at the fact that in 2016, our GDP growth was about 3.7%. But last year, it was 9.05%. The Statistical Service announced 8.5%. But if you look at the figures, it's actually 9.05%, which places Ghana in about the 6th position in the world in terms of GDP growth. Now, that is one. You also look at the fact that our budget deficit was about 9.3% in 2016. Last year, it whittled down to 5.9%. This year, the target is 4.5%. So with this arrangement, with this progression, obviously you are convincing the rater that you are doing something very right. So if you look at some of these key factors, and you also look at the fact that the inflation he mentioned, it was relatively high. Last 2 months it was 10%. Last month it was 9.9%. Actually, it ended at 9.9%. For the last month. The expectation for this is to get the 80% to end with. Okay. Now, it is not only this. I'll come to the currency, but before then, you see, Ghana is championing the use of the common currency.
Sorry to cut your thoughts. What spate of number of years do they use these ratings?
Very good.
How many years do they look at before they come up with these ratings?
The economic management is ongoing. So the previous year, what was the performance of the economy?
Okay, so just a year.
Exactly. So you look at it relative to the previous year, what was the performance? Now, if you look at the fact that last year it was B minus positive, it was largely not the making of the current administration. The reliance was on available data, especially from 2016. So you realize this year, most of the data for 2017 would have been born out of the operations of the current administration. So it is a matter of comparative analysis. What did we find last year? What were the recommendations to improve on the situation? To what extent have you worked on the recommendations? This speaks volume of how far you've gone and how you should be rated. So it is a year-on-year type of assessment. So how have you built on the current year relative to the previous year? Have you done something that will indicate that you have moved forward, or you are still where you were, or you've gone back? So these are some of the indicators that actually inform the decision of the rating agencies. So if you look at the fact that the level of inflation has also come down, Reverend touched on the policy rate. That is very true. It was about 25.5, but as we speak, it has come down to 17%. Now, before you have a policy rate of 17 from 25.5, it means you're doing something right. The indigents are also complementing the effort of government, because the dictates of the market in terms of demand and supply speak volume of government decision to raise the policy rate to discourage people from borrowing or reduce it to allow the circulation of money, so that there will be cyclical effect in the country. So if you look at these factors, you realize the responses have been positive, and also to reduce the level of unemployment, and also to some extent dismiss or delete the Unemployed Graduate Association. The president has taken it upon himself to set up the Nation Builders Corps, which is employing about 100,000. Now, this team came in and did not only see the documentation on paper, but saw the implementation in terms of the establishment of a national coordinator to make sure that these individuals are employed. So if you are able to tangibly indicate that this is what I'm doing to improve on the lot of the citizenry, then invariably you are moving in the right direction, and therefore there is an advancement. Now, the currency aspect you mentioned, the cedi, there are several factors accounting for the current fall in the value of the cedi. The first one has to do with the international investors we are all calling in now because of the improved ratings. Usually, when the economies of the United States...
Sorry, and let me just cut your thoughts a little bit. We want you to interact with us as well. So we're going to open the phone lines, and the number to call in is 0302 786 571, 0302 786-571. Call, you can ask Doc and Rev whatever questions you want to ask. Suggest things is very open. So we're waiting for your calls. They are here. Let's ask them the questions we want to ask them. All right, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, very well. So if you look at the fact that usually when the economies of the United States, Great Britain, the Japan, the Germany, and others are facing challenges, it tends to have a positive effect on smaller countries like Ghana, because the investors invariably rechannel their investment into these destinations. Now, what happens is that when they bring the investment, they may put it in the form of treasury bills, 3 months, 6 months, but they have one eye in Ghana and another eye in the country of origin. It's eyeing and observing the level of improvement in the economic conditions over there. If the government announces an improvement in especially the premium, on the bonds or the increase in interest rate, then quickly they redirect their investment to the other destination. Now, these investments we're talking about are millions of dollars. And so when they bring the money in, it becomes easier for the country to access and be able to recirculate for business purposes. When they take out this, it affects us considerably because it is not our common currency. Now, the second one has to do with this year especially, has to do with the unexpected amalgamation of 5 banks into one. The government least expected that these 5 banks would have to be consolidated, and the consolidation, if you look at it critically, there are at least about 2 banks that did not incur capital deficit. These include the Construction Bank, which maintained just a branch and was able to maintain the 40 million cedis initially invested. The Royal Bank wasn't faring good, but did not record capital deficit. So in the case of these 2 banks, consuming them means government would have to compensate the shareholders for any amount they had, and most of these amounts were in millions of cedis, which translated into millions of dollars. And most of these people, when they receive the cedis, quickly convert into dollars for saving, for future investment. So this also reduces the amount of dollars we have in the system. Now, the third one has to do with the fact that, as we speak, we are estimatedly about 29.6 million people, and because of the clarion call on the populace, you just showed a documentary on improving on sanitation in the urban areas. Now, the campaign and education on sanitation has led to an improvement in health relative to death. So the extent to which people live longer outweighs the extent to which we record deaths as of now, even though we could see inscriptions such as "gone too soon," what a shock. In spite of all this, we have more people living than dying. And what it also means is that we need more goods and services to meet the standards required of the basic person in the country. Unfortunately for us, most of these things are not manufactured in the country. They are brought from without. So some amount of currency is required for the businessmen and women to travel outside and then bring the goods, especially in, to meet the demands of the populace. Now, unfortunately for us, once again, most of these businessmen and women go out there demanding dollars for their business transaction. And that is where we have a challenge. And as a nation, we're going to address. I will use this medium to call on key stakeholders, especially the GUTA, Ghana Union of Traders Association, to begin the crusade towards resolving this, which I'll bring up very soon. Now, because of this, we have a challenge. They also need the dollars. My research has revealed that on average, there are about 100 people who travel outside the shores of this country on a daily basis with the intention of going to bring goods into the country on business purposes, not for vacation or permanent stay. And then in the week, we have on average about 500. In a month, we have at least about 1,000 people. If you look at the fact that just last month, the government had to pump in about $283.4 million US dollars. And this month, less than half of the month, about 157 million has already been pumped in. And this is even not meeting the demands of the people. It means we have a challenge.
Okay. Right.
Now, what is not helping us is this fact. If you look at our statistics, over the past 3 years, Ghana's leading trading partner is China. From China, we also have people going to United Arab Emirates, Dubai, and we have people going to South Korea for the spare parts. Now, if you look at these countries, all of them, none of them has the US dollar as the major currency. So why should we be grappling with the dollar? Okay. That is why we have a challenge, and as a nation, we're going to address. Yeah. Chinese currency is renminbi. I will land very soon. Chinese currency is renminbi. What it means is that when we have traders going into China, they are not supposed to be going with dollars. They're supposed to go with the renminbi. At least 90% of the funds required for bringing goods from China should be in renminbi. The remaining 10% could be in dollars for upkeep. Okay. The Dubai, which is the capital of United Arab Emirates, uses dirham. So I don't see why people go with dollars. Because when they get there, they have to convert the dollars into the local currency for trading. Okay. So why do we put pressure on the dollar in the country of origin, and then we end up weakening our local currency? Okay. So the currency required should be in the country of destination. If you look at South Korea, they use won. So the won, the dirham, and then the renminbi should be available in the various forest markets, so that people could access, and the government will enforce this. But if we indeed are concerned about the state at which the currency is falling, then we do not have to wait for government directive to do the right thing. Traders should request for the right currency to travel outside, so that we'll be able to heave a sigh of strong financial relief when it comes to the currency exchange.
All right, let me bring Rev on this one. Okay. Now, Rev, I have two bits here. The first question is, why are we grappling with the dollar? Why are we doing everything, exchanges, business, and all that with the dollar? can we say it's weakening our CD, and that is one. And then also with all this beautiful economic ratings and all that, is this reflecting in the lives of the common man? I mean, there's so many aspects of our lives that like we just saw the feature before this interview, cleanliness. There's so many aspects. B plus, beautiful rating and all that, but is this telling on the common man out there?
Yes, thank you very much. I think yes, the higher rating that we are seeing today is
sorry.
Very good
the phone line once again is 0302 786 571 0302 786 571. Call in and ask your questions. Doc and Rev are here. As many questions you want to ask, put your suggestions across, and let's make it interactive. Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think by and large you realize that scoring these high points does not necessarily mean that the government is going to share money for the Ghanaians.
I like that. Yes.
But then it's also projecting that yes, government has provided a conducive atmosphere for businesses to strive and grow. So you take advantage of this current system to do business, to run business.
Sorry to cut you. We have Isaac from Mr. Hi, Isaac.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
All right, sir. Please go ahead if it's a question or a suggestion.
Please, I want to know from all indications from Standards and Poor's ratings, do we have a better future with regards to our city?
Isaac, can you speak a little bit?
You have a better future in regards to our city.
I'm saying that from Standards and Poor's ratings, can we say we have a brighter future in terms of our city and its performance?
Yeah,
okay. Okay.
And yes, then what are policymakers doing to make sure that our city do not come down to the mouth?
Okay. No. All right, Isaac, that's a very good question. I know my guests are going to answer you rightly right now. Rev.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to answer him is very simple. Yes, we have a good future simply because the indicators are, the fundamentals, economic fundamentals are really good. And if really we are serious as a country, we, the citizens, needs to take advantage of these indicators, and meaning that if you run a business, you are likely to make it than to make a loss. But also, going further, you also realize that the currency is suffocating somehow.
Yeah.
But then the way it's depreciating is not too bad. Sometimes you realize that the president is championing aid to trade. And aid to trade means we need to industrialize. And industrialization is a high level of technology. So if we are going to buy, purchase, and acquire these machinery and equipments outside, then we need a lot of dollars.
Yeah.
So they put some level of pressure on the local currency. But I think it's also a contributing factor.
Sorry. We have Bernard from Accra. Hi, Bernard.
Hello.
Good morning. How are you? Bernard.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good, sir. I'm so good. All right, please go ahead with your question or suggestion.
Okay. Now listen. I think we should be as a people start looking at ourselves as Ghanaians. Remember, we did ERP, that structural economic recovery program. We did structural adjustment program. We did HIPAA. We did PASS card. They never worked for us. I think our professors are still holding on to this developed economy. This is economy that even don't have the basic structure. So when people are using analysis on the superstructure, how effective will it be? So I like the question that you asked. Is it reflecting in the pockets of the people? No. The question here is that our economy has two phases, unlike the developed countries. The first phase is what I call social capital. By social capital, trust, relationship, friendship, and all those things come into the kind of economy that we run. Then we have the second one, which is the developed one, which we have the DYDX one that the professors teach us in school. So the professors and the doctors in our school, why don't we come together and develop a model that will fit into our economy, rather than sitting on these rating agencies that want to take our properties, that want to take the things of this country. Now we things that are even national security, we have sold them because we don't have that data. Basic data, we don't have it. So our thesis, our thesis that the professor supervised and all those things must be directed to specific areas that can be given to the government to help us grow this economy instead of relying on this rating. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bernard. Thank you so much. Now,
let me ask.
Yes,
let me come
okay.
before we thank the caller. The fact is that the country is not relying so much on the secondary economics that he's talking about. The basics are there.
Really?
Without the basics, yes, the basics. If you do not have the basics, the secondary will be very difficult to build. Now, the current administration also has an economic bearing, and that has to do with the production-based approach. Okay. Moving from the tax-based to the production-based approach. So there is a fundamental, and that whatever is being done is gearing towards that particular objective. However, if you have challenges sometimes and you're trying to put them together and address, it may be difficult for some people to actually understand or come to terms with what you do until you get to perhaps about 80 to 90%. Yeah, at the outset, 10-20% completion, those who would benefit would witness it. But those who have not been touched on positively by your advancement might not see or appreciate what is actually going on in the country. The rating agency have mentioned that their ratings are actually required to attract international
and Doc, you mentioned something about advancement.
Yes.
Those who are not twitching on this advancement, do we have those who are in line with this and those who are not?
In terms of which the economic advancement,
yes,
it depends on the actually the ideology, not the ideology, the strategic approach of the management of the day, which I have.
I'm sorry, but
no,
sorry to cut you. The lines are buzzing. I mean, it's coming in, and we have from Sunyani. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Danny.
Yes, sir. Your name again?
My name is Chinibua.
Chinibua. All right. How's Sunyani?
Is very
good.
Fine.
All right. Please go ahead.
Well, my brother, the thing is, what are you doing about the agri sector? We have vast land. If we have nothing, we don't have what to eat, and the land is lying there, and we are not cultivating it, yet we import food and other things from other countries into this country. There's money in the soil. Let's cultivate the land, and all these problems will be solved. And one thing is about these black market people. Though it's very, very difficult getting rid of them. They're a very huge business. But I think we can regularize them, and that will help us, the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chiriba. So, Doc, you and I being a red in this here.
The marketing he mentioned, that is actually ongoing. It ties into the industrialization drive of the country. Actually, to stem the tide, let me put everything together. The first caller, the second, and the third, to some extent, lamenting on the free fall of the cedi relative to major international currencies like the dollar. The measures put in place by the government, the previous and the immediate administration, the first measure is actually a temporary solution to the problem, and that is making sure we inject more dollars into the economy. And we've even realized that as a nation, we do not necessarily have to inject more dollars. If we're able to redistribute the currency in terms of those going into China getting the right currency, going to Dubai getting the right currency, and what have you. Even if you even go to the extent that our Muslim brothers and sisters that go on pilgrimage pay in dollars. Meanwhile, the Saudi currency is real. So we put undue pressure on us in terms of the estimate. We're going to address that now.
Sorry to cut you. Yeah, sorry. We have a caller from Nima. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name, sir?
Yeah.
Your name?
My name is Uruya, calling from Nima.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning to my
morning.
My fellow Hello, Phobia Doctor.
Yes, Horoya. Yeah,
you know him?
yes.
Okay, all right.
I think I'm always surprised about this rating, about this kind of analysis of the but it reflects to the poor man. I'm surprised. Why is this so? If you go to the market, the prices keep on rising. It's always just on Monday. We heard that our rating from B negative has come to B, which is a positive sign. But if you go to the local market, it doesn't reflect. Why is it so? We are surprised. So I mean, they should do something about it.
Yes, I mentioned the local market.
Okay.
No, the local
Please
market.
I need to bring Rev. So
Very
get
well,
land.
very
Yeah,
well.
land for me. That bring
The
Rev.
local market, we have mentioned that we are actually importing more than we are manufacturing as of now. And
why are we doing that?
No, it is because the factories that were put in place under the first administration of this country were not maintained. Over 300 factories
Why
have
were
gone
they
down.
not maintained?
That is just unfortunate, and it is to some extent fortunate for us that under the current administration there is the need for us to revisit it. That's why right from the outset last year, the president was talking about the one district, one factory. It is the long-term solution to the problem, so that we'll be able to manufacture most of the things we import into the country right here, and the pressure will be on the local currency, but not relative to a foreign currency. So we are on course as a nation with regards to resolving this issue.
Okay, Rev, adding to what Doc is saying, those times we had Willowbrook, we had Osa, we had all those and Tata and everything. We're doing them in Ghana. Now, are we and now we're getting this VWs want to come in and all that. But are we like Doctor? Are we asking ourselves what caused those companies to break down? Have we gone into the roots to find out the causes? And then why don't we work on those causes before we go in for these new ones? Are we not playing back history?
Thank you very much. I think we equally needs to be blamed, and not only leadership but followers as well, because you realize that our appetite for foreign goods have really increased, and which must not be so.
Yeah.
And also,
do we blame you, the economist, on this one?
Oh, not really.
Okay.
But I don't control your taste and preference.
That's it.
And it's an attitude that I don't think is helping us as a nation.
But like one of our colleagues said, we should have a model. We should have something that would work on us as Ghanaians.
Yes, exactly. I think so. The way to go now, I think the government is looking at Chinese model. But I think that we should combine that with German's model, because they really change or transform their economy through technical and vocational education. So I think that's the way for us to go, because if we don't produce and industrialize, most of the times you realize that you always fight investment deficit, and that puts much pressure on the local currency. So the way for us to go is to industrialize. So for us to produce, to number one, to be able to feed ourselves and have access to export. And I think that will give some relief to the local currency. But then we can also look at these the thematic areas. There are some hotel facilities that charges and services in dollars in Ghana here, and such actions and attitude must stop.
It must stop.
There are some educational institutions that also charges in dollars. Such things must be reversed. When you come to the aviation sector, and you realize
sorry to cut you, I'll bring you back again. We have a caller from Accra. Hi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name, sir?
This is Bernard again. I wanted to respond to one of something that your panelist said.
Okay, go ahead, Bernard.
Now, he's saying that we are injecting dollars into the economy. I call it voodoo economy. Now, this is the reason. One, you have a car, and the plugs are new. The engine, the oil is good. Whatever is okay. And the car cannot run. If our micro indicators, as they claim it's good, then the macro MA will be better. And that's what is going to reflect in the pockets of the people. So that is what I'm saying, that one, we don't have a structure. Two, we don't have a model. Three, we are doing voodoo economy, so that firefighting, when there is a problem, the Bank of Ghana carries money and pour you. You have a basket that leaks. And then every time you say there is fire, you pour water into the basket. What are you doing? But if all the fundamentals are right, the so-called fundamentals are right, give us the necessary condition, he knows. But the sufficient condition is what is going to have the ripple effect in the lives of the people. We don't have it. So we are begging them as a policy maker. They should put themselves together and come up with this is the model of Ghana economy. Now we have what we call Ghanaian phenomenon in economy. He knows that 3 years we grow the economy and then the election year will destroy it. Because we don't
okay,
have
Bernard. All right, Bernard.
Okay,
Bernard, thank you so much. My
statement.
You made that statement, right?
Yeah,
okay.
He did not listen to the ending part of it. I stated that the government usually inject the dollars into the system as a immediate stopgap measure. It is a temporary.
And that's his worry.
It is not good. That's what I'm saying. It is not the best.
It's bad. Why should we do that?
No, because if you have a problem, I use this analogy. Let me bring it. You see, when you suddenly develop a sore, a medication will be applied to the sore, perhaps not to in a way eradicate it entirely, but then
like
to
a first aid bit.
That is it. And then later there will be permanent healing of the sore.
You see, but
now, the injection of the dollar coming under the previous administration. You see, this started several years ago, which should have been addressed. First, our problem had to do with our inability to maintain the various factories that were established under the first administration.
So we are going to blame the economists because you advised the government.
We don't want to play the blame game. That's what I'm saying. Fortunately, some of us can say we have a listening government that listens to suggestions now. The previous administration, some suggestions you make, the next day they do the opposite of it.
Really?
Now, yes, for some of us, I'm speaking from experience. Now, what I'm saying is this. What the previous administration used to do was to inject dollars into the system to calm down the financial
Why are we
waters.
looking at previous administration and not looking at it now?
I'm coming to the current. The caller was talking about, referring to the injection of dollars. Now, if you come and there has not been a permanent solution, you'd have to hold on to the temporary while you find the lasting solution. I have mentioned that the lasting solution is to be able to manufacture most of the goods, even if not all, most of the goods we import into the country right here.
Okay.
You know, so while you are...
Doc, please hold on. I'm coming. It's become interesting, very, very interesting. Yes. Now, we have Loco from Kanishi. Good morning. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hi, good morning.
The economy is suffering from hallucination. The economy is suffering from hallucination.
It's suffering from what? Hallucination. Okay, go on.
Hallucination.
Yes, go on.
So, the manifest of the economy are not being the citizens any people at all. There's a lot of corruption in the system which will address that issue to quicken the economy. And then they are not addressing that issue. High prices on the market is affecting we the workers, our pocket, our family, and every situation in the system. A lot of money are going to waste.
He's complaining.
The money gets put down and they just rubbish it and they are filling the lies, full of lies. And it's better those who come on radio and TV, especially the government, tell us the truth. So the government and God will have better sympathize with the transformation of the economy for us to be free from poverty.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Logo. Thank you very, very much. And my guests are going to address your concerns.
Yes.
Reverend.
I was on the let me land.
Land quickly, and let me bring you Reverend on. I have a few.
It is very important. Yeah. Now, from his submission, what we're saying is this: the injection of dollars is not the permanent solution. It's an immediate solution. And even to improve an immediate solution, the country going forward will do the redistribution of currency.
But Doc, the question is, having an immediate solution and then later on having a permanent solution, that space between immediate and permanent, what will happen between that bracket?
Yeah, so while you have
that's where the worry is. That's where the citizenry is concerned.
The immediate solution in this case is to make sure that the currency used in trading from overseas, is available in abundance to reduce the extent to which you have to exchange more cedis for that foreign currency. Now, if you do that, you'll be able to stabilize prices in the market while you also work and accelerate on the provision of the permanent solution. That is what we're doing. Now, let me make this clear. You see, at
London, let me bring in Reverend.
Yes, $157 million, has already been injected into the system, and it's still not enough. And because demand is exceeding supply, that's why we have more cities chasing after $1. And that shouldn't be the case. And because of more imports than exports, what we are saying is this: if we could control this immediately, which the government would implement, has to do with making sure that since China remains our major trading partner, we shouldn't be grappling with dollar. That's what I'm saying, especially the United States dollar.
So we should be grappling with what?
We should be grappling with renminbi.
Why should we even be grappling with another currency?
No, that's what I'm saying. That if we say grappling, in the case of the Chinese renminbi, we can have and be able to stabilize it. And that is what we're going to do. When we do this, we'll have stability across the various currencies.
Okay.
Now, while the permanent solution is being sought, we have to make sure the currency distribution is stabilized. And then the government would engage in the public-private partnership initiative we're doing to establish the factories.
Right.
Now, for most of the factories, they are on course. But the government has, resorted to what some of us suggested. It is just like walking in the cities and seeing constructions with fence walls. You do not see what goes on until the project is near completion, before the fence will be taken off, and you see the edifice. That is what is going on with regards to the one district, one factory. And I'm sure very soon Ghanaians would see things for themselves.
Reverend, it's becoming interesting. But if you get from the calls we're getting and what people are saying, people have concerns. People.
Definitely.
These are words for the economists. These are things you would understand. But the common man, look, the common man out there into some rural, some place, he doesn't understand anything we're saying. How do we get this to get to them? How do they get a better life? How do we? And one caller also made that, and you are a lecturer, that we do these research, final projects and all that, and they're lying on the shelves. Some have very, very, very good ideas. What are we doing about that? Are we biting into them? And this currency bit. Why are we not using our Ghana cedis?
Thank you very much. I think what assertions are right, because it will be very suicidal if.
And I have a lot of WhatsApp messages. So many. I mean, but please go ahead.
It's very suicidal if central bank continue injecting dollars into the. I think it's a lazy attitude of managing an economy, and we need to. Be a bit disciplined and more serious. Now, I profess a solution. Instead of injecting more dollars into the system, why won't you block these loopholes? 3 areas. Stop the educational institutions that are charging dollars. Stop the hotel institutions that are charging dollars. Stop the aviation industry that are charging dollars.
Rev, hold on to that. We'll come back to that again. We have Charles from the Volta region. Hi, Charles. Charles.
Yes.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very fine. And how's the family and everybody?
Oh, yeah, I'm so fine.
Oh, okay. Okay, please go ahead. My guests are listening to you.
Oh, yes. All along I've been seeing Sister Maushi on your program, Gtv.
Okay.
But nowadays I've not been seeing her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sister Maushi is on the short. Pardon?
So I just want to inquire of her.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice of you. Sister Maushi is on a short leave, but she'll be back.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Reverend.
So as we are saying, that in addition to that, there are some real estates that also sell their houses and properties in dollars, and some people even rent their properties, accommodations in dollars.
In dollars.
And all this attitude must stop. So you realize that it's not only the government, but we as citizens also we are equally guilty for these nuisance. But then over the years, you realize that we don't really practice the domestic economics, but rather political economics, which doesn't help us. So every political party comes with its own agenda, winning the interests of the people, thinking about the next election. So we are not really concerned about the main economy. I've heard some complaining bitterly that we don't have a model. We have. We do have.
We do?
Yes.
So why are we not feeling it?
When you look at the work of a National Development Planning Commission, NDPC, that's a 40-year development plan. That is a model.
That just hold on to that. I'm going to ask you about that, because after that, we've not really heard anything about that. After that, we said, all right, hello.
Yeah, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you calling from, sir?
Please, my name is Amin. I'm calling from Obuasi.
All right. How's Obuasi?
Everyone is fine.
Good. Amin, go ahead.
Yeah. Please, with my view, I think by moving by investing a lot of dollar into the system, we are rather, or by, like the other speaker was saying, by preventing other countries like China and Dubai from using the dollar as their sole currency, and rather using their local currency, we are rather going to be strengthening their currency rather than strengthening our own currency. In my view, so let's look at our country. We have institutions that still charges dollar. Meanwhile, our local currency is the cedi. So what are we doing to that? They are also, within the country, weakening our currency, which is still a major problem.
Okay. I mean, thank you so much. So you see, Reverend, what I'm asking you, that's what I mean is asking.
No, let me be clear here. He's talking about,
okay,
using the Chinese currency. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If until we are able to produce what we consume in the country, we would continue to import. Now, if we're going to import and you're going to China to bring goods into the country, it will not be financially advisable to leave the shores of Ghana with dollars, US dollars. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to China, it will be best to go with the Chinese currency, which is renminbi, so that the pressure on the cedi relative to the dollar would reduce. And when it reduces, we'll not be here discussing the free fall of the cedi, because the strength of the cedi will be distributed across lines.
So Don, let me ask you. So if we're thinking of production, our baseline, our theme is production.
Yeah.
So why would we come up with some policy, something that says that, okay, do not import this, or don't do this, so that we concentrate and put all our energies within that production, and then we grow the cedi.
We are doing that, but you see, before you provide restriction, you should have substitute in the country. Before you say don't bring this into the country, then you should have sufficient.
I remember there was a move like that with rice or something some time back.
Very. Unfortunately, we allowed the Aveime rice production site to go down, which is not right, because it is a site that could produce rice to feed the entire nation and even produce.
So we have a caller from Latabiokoshi. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name, sir?
This is Chief from Latabiokoshi.
Please go ahead.
Let me greet Ebenezer and Abipuma Central MP. He has done well in Abipuma Central. We have to. There are times that we need to stop all those things. When you go to marketplaces, they are dealing in dollars there. They are selling things in dollars. When you go to restaurants, they are trading in dollars there. So there's something from the data, because they have done well in the economy. When you look at the dollar and the cedi, almost about 13% in 2 years. So they have done well.
Okay, all right, Reverend. So who is checking those loopholes? People who are charging in dollars, people who are dealing in who is checking it?
I think
and who is to check it?
I think the monitoring and evaluation Department of Central Bank has been too relaxed, and I think so many things have been going on wrong.
We have a Ministry for Monitoring and Evaluation,
and I think they started doing some form of work.
That is
why.
That's general. But it comprises the
financial market.
But I think that's why we are seeing some form of changes these days, because you realize that when you go to the marketplaces, some people even sell TV sets in dollars. So
Reverend, I'm sorry. This is our last. This is our last caller, Francis from Bolga. Hi, Francis.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, sir. And how is Bolga?
Bolga is fine.
All right. Please go ahead. Your question.
Mine is not a question.
Okay.
Yeah, mine is not a question, but it's a form of contribution to. It's not a question. It's a form of contribution.
Okay.
My contribution is that Ghana must take advantage of the depreciation of the cedi. In some economies like China intentionally even depreciate their currency. And what happens is that as our cedi is depreciating, government must take advantage of that and promote export. Because internally, when investment export, it means that when our city is depreciating, they will take more cities. They will take more cities. And taking more cities, it will help them to employ locally while the government is earning the foreign exchange, and businessmen are earning more cities. China, like I was saying, is a typical example of what I'm talking about. U.S. almost fight with China because China intentionally depreciates their currency. So you can see China product being exported at 10 cents, at 10 cents. Because that's 10 cents, if it's exchanged in China itself, it's a huge money. So let us rather stop, talking about the depreciation of the city. After all currencies are meant to spend. Nobody will spend any money when there's no need for it. So the challenge should be squarely put at the corridors of government. Government must support exporters, private businesses.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. I'll take a few of my messages.
What is the true value of the dollar to cedi? I'll tell you that 10 Ghana cedis should be equivalent to $1. Thank you.
All right, I'll let my guests will react to that very soon. But then let me take a few of my messages. I'll take about 3 or 4. There are 1,000. I'll just take like 4 of them. Now, it says that, good morning. I think our professors only understand... please stop calling the WhatsApp line. Now, I think our professors only understand the developed economies which have never yielded any results for developing countries like Ghana, where there's no basic economic structure. So what are they rating us on? ERP, SAP, PASCAT, HIPIC, never worked. Let us as people develop our own models to help improve the economy. Why are all the so-called fundamentals right and we still see suffering? You didn't give me your name. Now this one says that from Mystic Inside in Soam, Adredri, Mr. Host, please help me organize some lectures for... Nah, I don't think I can read this one for Dr. Baumia. Nah. I mean, let's be a bit decent with the things we write. Now, this is from Sule Sunyani KTK. President Akufo-Addo double track is far better than the former president. Mama, we're not doing that. Okay. All right, the next one is... though times are hard, that's making life unbearable for the ordinary Ghanaian currently, and it's as a result of the reckless economic management by the Eswal Mahama-led government. The upgrade of Ghana's economic outlook shows that the right economic policies initiated by the government of President Akufo-Addo are yielding positive results for that matter. Ghanaians should exercise patience because very soon this economic recovery will improve their lifestyle. The NPP government is the only government that can build a prosperous Ghana beyond aid. You didn't give me your name, and this one says that now Jagos, this is the last one I'm going to read. It says that Jagos from Islam, Mr. Hassan Yaga should give us a break. Nah, not that. Let me do the last one. Okay. All right, the last one is, good morning, sir. I'm Clemens from Kumasi. I want to ask if the government is going to employ all the 10,000 graduates or go beyond or go in badges.
The 100,000.
Yeah, the 100,000. All right, so let me go to my guest now, and then to give me their final words. Okay, all right. Okay, now let me start, Reverend.
Yes, sir.
We've heard the callers. Things are going right, but of course, I mean, there are two sides to the coin and all that. What would be your final words on this subject matter? What would you want to tell the ordinary citizen who's watching us? What do you want to tell your fellow economists? We want to see changes. We want to see it affecting us as ordinary people.
Thank you very much. I think we as citizens, we've been making a very big mistake by putting our destiny, our lives, our future in the hands of politicians. Okay. And a lot of people think that the ones that I follow this political party and they win, then my life is better. Without making any plans, planning their lives, putting measures in place. And I think it's a very bad trend. So those who have been demanding monies from political parties also should desist. Okay. But at the end of the day, if they assume power, they need to look out for those monies to settle their debts. So that allows them to deviate from their core mandate. So Ghanaians generally, we pleading with Ghanaians to equally patronize made in Ghana products. Things that we produce in Ghana, we should patronize it very well, because that's the only way that we will be able to reduce pressure on the domestic currency. Because if you continue importing goods from outside, definitely we need more dollars to do that. And those who have been rendering services, selling goods and services in foreign currency, especially dollars, you also desist from such attitudes. And I think we all have a collective responsibility in building our local economy. And I think going forward, the central bank should be very strong, because some people wanted the country to be run in a reckless way. So everybody is now doing whatever that he or she likes in order to better their lives, and which lives economic must not be planned that way. We have a lot of models looking at the National Development Planning Commission. We have a lot of programs and policies, and I think government's one district, one factory was taken from, is a concept from, so it's a national concept. The free SHS is a national concept, all in the National Development Planning Commission's work. So going forward, we all need to bring our heads together, because starting everything on the soil of Africa is very difficult, and the government equally needs our collaboration.
All right. Doc, your last words.
Yes, thank you very much. Quickly, I think there have been two mentions on the Structural Adjustment Program, the Economic Recovery Program, and then the PALMS card, which the last two are the byproducts of the first one. The Structural Adjustment Program, from it, we had the Economic Recovery Program. Now, under former President Rawlings, then PNDC, it ran for about 10 years. So to some extent, we're able to make some steady progress in terms of our economic development from 1981 to 1991. We remember the bushfires of and then the famine of 1983, sustaining all the way through. Now, the challenging and unfortunate aspect has to do with the changing of our education system. That is the worst aspect of the whole program to some of us. But on the whole, it wasn't a complete failure, as we have been made to believe. We built on the current economic from the previous model, which has to do with the economic recovery program. The current administration is embarking on what we call the production-based approach. As already mentioned, it might not be very clear to people because the factories are not yet functional for everyone to witness, and therefore people have cause to say the economy has no model, it has no structure. There's a structure in place, but when we have some already developed structures that are struggling, it becomes difficult for people to appreciate what you have in store for the nation. And I know very soon people begin to feel the impact of the economic development in their pockets. Payments have been made by the current administration, as a matter of fact, but they are payments to contracts awarded under the previous administration, which is making it difficult to start a new one. But very soon, new projects like the one district, one factory, the construction of new roads, extension of existing ones, construction of airports will also come into play, and the masons, the carpenters, the steel benders, the welders, and others, the artisans in general who think they are not having a positive feel will also begin to heave a sigh of strong social relief. They will improve on their lots and also appreciate what is going on.
All right, so this has been the main discussion on the Breakfast Show today, and it's been very interesting, very interactive, and the discourse is still on. We still have a lot of questions for our economists, but it's all for Ghana, it's all for the growth of the country, and trust me, it is going to get well. It would be well. And I've been talking to from Eben Consultancy, Dr. Ebenezer M. Ashley, PhD, and the CEO and a financial consultant. Doc, thank you so much for your time this morning. And then also in the studio we have Reverend Dr. Samuel Wolanyo Mensah. He's an economist, and also he's a senior lecturer at the he's an economist with the Institute of Chartered Economists Ghana, and also a senior lecturer at the Wisconsin University. Rev, thank you so much for your time.
I'm really quite grateful.
Thank you. All right. So, like I said, the discourse is on. Let's still be talking. Let's still answer questions. And trust me, coming up next, we have the newspaper review segments, which you don't want to miss as well. Stay on.
Any very reverence on my blues. Cumedia, your friend has a bedu. Metallic Ghana, Commerce Dowses. A the route, your one on matching. No noon, the fat a casino 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Our Gtv Show. Upon your mere summer bobo was 61. Tia Sampa do.